include your audio, my friend.
Good.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 4 of Fatch GT's GT3 season. Today we're at Donnington Park, in the heart of jolly old England. 12 corners on this format of Donnington Park, and that is, let me work out the kilometres here. I've not got that. 3.1 kilometres, that's almost 2 miles of track. Last week we saw Ide come away with a convincing win in a wet and soggy Germany at the Nürburgring. Good result there for him. Took advantage of some incidents further back in the field. I think Williams got caught up in a few hits, a few spins, and Ide kind of ran away from it from there. What are you expecting today? Any idea what we're going to get?
Ligier seemed to be very strong in practice. Lamborghini suits well with stability, maybe. Curbs seem to be an issue for a lot of cars, especially the Ferraris and the McLaren. So I think you could see a comeback from Williams at the top, or a close fight with Ligier, I'd say.
Williams always seems to downplay his pace on a track before the race, and but then always seems to have it during the race. It'll be interesting to see how he fares today. Donnington notoriously technical and treacherous at the same time. I will highly predict that we'll see a couple of cars go heavy on some curbs and spin. Thankfully, there's not too many walls to crash into, so it should be recoverable, but dangerous all the same. As we are out for qualifying at the moment, we'll be on board with Temenga, recently changing it to that Mustang, and if I remember right, had a very solid race at Nürburgring. Started from the back because he had his Joker car, meaning he could not qualify. But I think he worked his way up to 4th, I believe. So a very strong performance. Very dangerous track when it comes to traction. Donnington, you want to get on that throttle extremely early, but if you do it too early on a curb, you're off.
And it's surprising enough dry for this race.
Yeah, England and no rain, out in blue sky at this time of year. It's very surprising.
It doesn't. It isn't right. Something's
No,
missing.
we can call this an arcade game now. It's not realistic.
Yeah, maybe with the Mustang with rear tire wear we would have quite a bit of trouble towards the end of the stint, with a huge traction zone, and out of curved corners. It's not that many straight accelerations, so you can expect a big tire wear on the Mustang at the rear.
Yeah, lots of fast sweeping corners that will rip those rears up, especially. We wait for the first times to be put on the board. Straight away, Ligier in the Lamborghini puts it on pole, followed by Ide, and then Pell for the top 3. Williams, I think he's just on a slow lap there, may have aborted. Let's have a look at the ballast. So obviously Ide getting the winner's penalty from the last race, so he gets extra ballast for that. And the BMW on this track already has a lot of ballast. I think it's a 24 kilogram added in itself, so he has the maximum of 40 kilograms on that BMW today. So it'll be wrestling a bit to get that round the track. But currently sitting in second, so it hasn't been that detrimental.
Yeah, 3 tenths off. It's not a lot, especially in a short qualifying. People have different styles in terms of getting into the rhythm, so maybe I has a bit more trouble being at the top, as he puts it on pole for the moment. 13 thousandths of a second. Pell matches it also by 1/10 on height. It's very close at the moment. Three drivers in 1.5 tenths. We'll see what Levi has to do about it.
I
I think he
did
could
do
move
some
faster.
practice with Pau earlier in the server, earlier in the day, and he did look pretty quick. Some solid, consistent lap times on his timetable sheet. As the board keeps getting shaken up. So, yeah, Williams puts it on pole. Does get under the 27s into the 26s, barely. Pell about 3 tenths back, followed by Ide by another tenth. I think Temenga will find more time also, and Warner looks to be improving too.
Yeah, he improved a lot in the last lap. So I think he's going to improve even more this lap. We'll have to stay on board with him.
Mario Riches looks to improve. That's going to be about half a second. Oh, just fortunate exit there. Cost him a lot of time into the final corner. It's in P10 currently. And Robert is looking to improve in the Porsche. About 1 second up currently. Let's have some traffic ahead of him. Very
Robert,
tidy through the chicane.
huge improvement.
Bit wide on the exit, but won't cost him too much time. But let's see where this puts him as he comes around the final corner. Let's up to P13, so still time to find there for Robert. Let's see what's going on at the top of the timesheets. Williams still holding on. No one really improving up in that top 6.
Yeah, Temenga's on an invalid lap, so have to wait for another. Williams is 2 tenths up already, coming into the last sector.
As Warner is currently finding about a tenth. It's a tough one, Donny, because you want to push, but you get it wrong. It's just an instant track cut or a spin. It is very unforgiving.
Yeah,
coming up to the first hairpin.
Need to be very disciplined.
Yeah, Warner making a huge time up. I think he might be invalidated.
And an improvement, 3 tenths improvement for Williams, 126.6 tenths on Pearl, who is crossing the line at the minute.
Really finding the pace now as the rubber gets added to the track as well. It will help. Captain Sandbag himself tells everyone he's slow and then comes in and smashes it. And he's up again, almost 2 tenths up this lap. Does look like he's got some traffic ahead of him though. That might
he's got Niels.
Compromise this lap.
If he is on a timed lap, yeah, he is 4 tenths up Niels. He's losing time for the chicane. Squeezing Niels, trying to lose the least amount of time possible, and he pulls.
It wasn't worth
out.
it. Yeah. He would have time to get back on track and improve if he needs to. As we are on board with my favourite car, the urine-coloured car of Bosch Jan, 1.5 seconds up currently, sitting in P16. almost up to 2 seconds. That's a good chicane.
And Ligier with quite a bit of an improvement, as well as paired. Now it's only less than 2 tenths between P1 and P2, and paired is a bit more behind with 4 tenths deficit.
We just see Boschian completely fumble the last corner and lose that 2 seconds that he had gained. I think it's one of those when you see that you're on a flyer, you still want to push it a bit more, and
Yeah.
really you should probably just bank that lap and go again if you're that far down in the current qualifying table. But he'll have time to find that lap again.
Ligier puts in on board 55 thousandths of a second, 126.6 dead.
So Williams needs to find half a tenth, just over half a tenth. The track is optimum, the rubber is down.
Yeah, I
Will
think
we get another last lap pole?
he has 2 laps, I think. The first lap won't be ideal as your pressures aren't at the peak of its performance, and he pulls out already. Oh, he's let pass Verstappen, warming up his
Maybe he's trying to
tires.
find some clean air.
As Verstappen is 3 tenths up on this time.
He just gets a bit of a real wheel spin there out of the hairpin. That did cost him a tenth and a half.
Yeah, I think he's leaving space between him and the 77 of Houston, because you will have 2 push laps, so you need that space, that clear air, that clear road in front of you.
I'd looking to improve as well. Half a tenth up currently. Coming up the hill.
This is the last chance for people in the pit to get out and do a lap time. For like Francis Neos, Gorkomelekis are joining us late in qualifying. Mark is also there.
This has been a strategy of Cork's, I think. He's stayed at the back, stayed out of trouble, and then found his space on the track and made it work.
Just like James Francis.
Yeah, found that better for him. Mark looking to improve, currently in P15, tenth and a half up. Sturger improving also. Ligier 10th down, so I don't think he'll improve. Temenga currently 2.5 tenths up, coming into the first hairpin.
2.5 tenths will put him right in front of Hyde for P4. We'll see if he can stick it.
Last corner to go
Around the
is a
final
tough
corner.
one. Like he's nailed it.
And P4
He's up
indeed.
to P4.
27.
Yep.
1 for Temenga. He has 2 laps if he has enough fuel.
Usain performing quite well up into P7. Is also a 10th improved.
Great result for Houston, P7.
Powell is matching his lap time at the moment. Although does get a good exit, it looks like. Maybe a bit of traction issues at the back. See if we can find any time in the last corner. Sends it. You can't send it there. Unfortunately, that last corner, you may feel like you have to, but you'll just go off. You have to stay on that line.
Keep it tidy. And
Yeah.
Hyde fights back, puts it to P3 just ahead of Pearl.
It's like a big lap.
40
Williams
thousandths.
will not improve this lap. He'll have one more to try and hunt this pole down. Has some clear air in front of him. Should not get impeded.
Last attempt for Temanga as he crosses the line. Also for Williams, same. The 10 drivers still on track, trying to improve, finding the last couple of tenths they can find.
So whoever's on a time lap now, this will be the last one. Anyone not yet to cross the line, that is it for them. So Williams,
Yeah,
currently a 10th down. He'll do well to find that time on Ligier. But he's he's back to level playing field with his current lap time. So if he has a couple of good
yeah,
corners,
it's only
throws it
55,000.
into the chicane. He's gained a 10th there. Needs to
Don't need
nail
to
these last two
overdo it.
hairpins.
Yeah. Be very disciplined. Not be too eager to get back on the power. You can run out of road very quickly at Donnington. Comes around the
It's going to
final
be
corner.
close. He pushed it a bit too far. You have to stay tight. If you don't stay tight, it'll just get away from you
No,
there. It's not one you can push. P2 for Williams. So Ligier, Temanga stays in P3. Did he take Hyde on the last lap there? Or was Hyde in P3 or did Temanga
Yeah.
already have
He
P3?
improved
Yeah.
right at the last minute.
Snatches it off Hyde and Pell is right behind. I think that's all the laps done, all the drivers done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still Mark. No,
So
it's over. It's
Ligier-
over for Mark.
Snatching pole by a hair's width.
It's going to be a
From
close fight between
Williams.
these two. I said it earlier. I'm more convinced of what I said. Going to be close to 55,000 of a second. It's nearly nothing. It's not even a car length difference between the two drivers.
Yeah, and then between P3 and P5, you've got not even got a 10th of a second.
Yeah. Then you got a close pack from P7 to P11 between Hans Hewson with a nice P7.
Yeah, very impressive time from Hussein and Draga as well. I've seen Draga.
Yeah.
Looked like he was having some issues in practice with some of the corners, was getting caught out, but he's done well there to salvage P8. Congratulations, Draga. Vesterga did speak to me before the race and said he hates Donnington. Do not give me any airtime, so we will stay on board with Vesterga for the entirety of the stream.
Pointing out every mistake he does.
No, it'll be a flawless drive, I'm sure. And then Jay Francis and Cork, they're their usual not to put in the qualifying time to stay safe. See how that works out for them.
And it's
Yeah,
very
should be an
narrow.
interesting race.
Yeah. Going to be a tough start. People will need to be calm and composed through turn one.
Williams not having it all his own way. We thought maybe after the first two races he could run away with this. Obviously at Nürburgring, not the result he wanted. Doesn't look to have insane pace over the rest of the grid here either. So this could start getting interesting throughout the season as some cars and tracks come into play.
It seems that every race is a driver that competes with him. Last time it was Hyde with a great rain performance. Warner was quite close at Silverstone. So yeah, it isn't a walk in the park for Williams. He needs to be right on top of every weekend, every qualifying sessions, every race to manage to put it on board and win. So we have to congratulate him for his performance that put in a lot of work. Despite great competition, he manages to be on top nearly every weekend.
Yeah, doing really well.
Every Mondays.
Temanga also showed he's got pace in that Mustang after the switch.
And very interesting, three different drivers with the three different purple sectors, and it's the top three. Temanga putting the fastest first sector with a 20.050. Second sector is purple for Williams with a 33.667, and last sector with Ligier 32.7. putting quite a bit of a gap to the rest of the field. Closer is Williams, but then there's a 2 tenths difference. So very compact field with different strengths depending on the car, depending on the driver. We'll see if Ligier can hold on to victory for 60 minutes as they put their cars on their grid spot.
Yeah, it'll be a tough one. Matt is a hard racer as well. He will be looking to pass at any opportunity.
Yeah, Ligier.
The big issue here for Ligier could be the power of the Mustang brakes going into some of those hairpins. We'll have to watch out for that.
Yeah, I do think if you get a good drive out of corners, you are pretty much safe. Not very long straights. The power of the Mustang can't really be shown, despite great acceleration. Can't really go side by side in a lot of places. So you have to wait maybe for a mistake, force a mistake, and sweep pass.
So we have Andy Barney. Well, Andy, I'd saying child on board. Obviously, he's been given a 20 kg ballast for winning last week, something every driver gets. But it's unfortunate at this track at Donnington, the BMW also gets a plus 27 kg ballast. But the server does not let you sell it over 40. So technically, he's gotten away with 2 kgs. But
we needed him to make him put
40 kgs is 40 kgs, unfortunately.
2 liters of fuel.
He says child on board. I think you got more than a child on board there, mate. Some more big old unit in the car. Okay, so 1 minute left as the drivers get their setups where they want to as they fuel the cars to the perfect points. It's a mandatory stop as always. So fuel and tyres. Pit window will open 20 minutes into the race and close 20 minutes later. I think Donnington is a hard track to pass. I think undercut could be quite strong here. If you feel if you cannot get past the driver, it might be a better option to go for that undercut. But also the pit entry at Donnington is surprisingly difficult. There's hardly any run up into the speed limit board, and if you put those brakes on
30 seconds.
in the wrong place, the car's going to hit you right in the backside. So you have to be very careful coming into those pits. Obviously, manual pit limiter as well, gentlemen, as always. So do not get caught out. 20 seconds, and the cars will be on their way.
One thing you get
Have you done Have you done the pit lane at Donnington before?
No,
Horrible.
I never drove this track.
Horrible. You'll see what I mean as the drivers do come to make their pits. You probably could fit a car in between the track and the pit lane before you have to slow. It's pretty much instant when the worst pit entries on the calendar.
Yeah, you have to notice that the picket exit is on the outside, so you don't lose that much time. Coming into turn 1, you have a nice clean line, so maybe something to take into account when you're doing an undercut.
It can get quite dangerous because to take that first corner, you have to go off the track on the left to maximise it. So if you're not paying attention and a car's coming out, you're hitting them. So let's hope
Yeah,
the
it is
drivers are
coming
checking
on the
their
racing
mirrors.
line. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you have a clear track, it might be an advantage, too. Not that much, but when it's 55 thousandths close, you might want to extract everything you can from pit stops, from pit entry, pit box, pit exit, tire warming. Everything needs to be watched out for. Nothing can be left to fate this time.
So Patrick Ligier leading the drivers out for the first race this season. A couple of drivers not in attendance today have real life things to do. How dare they have lives? You should be here on track, or they are injured. So best wishes to Hutch if you're there, mate. Get well soon. No vigorous activities with that shoulder, please. Be sensible. get healed up, get back into the saddle.
Yeah, Hughes, Baz also missing this race due to work.
Yeah,
Fortunate.
Baz, he says work. I'm pretty sure he's just got an appointment to get his bus pass sorted out. He is a pensioner. I should have said that maybe. Sorry, Baz. But yeah, I know Baslia also busy today, saving orphan children. So hearts go out to Baslia. Fun fact about Baslia, I don't know if you know, he actually also fosters cats. 73 cats currently in that man's house.
Really?
73 last time I checked. Number could have gone up. We will find out soon. I'll have to get an interview with him. But as the cars come round to the final corner, and we will get underway for round 4 of our GT3 season. Ligier having the ever important inside line into the first corner.
Green light. Give it all you can.
And we go green, and we are underway. See if Ligier can hold that inside.
Eyed with a big dive on Williams. Williams a bit cautious. Cutting
Lots
grass.
of curb there for Williams. Oh, it's ever so bunched up. We do have a car off. Not sure who it is.
Sander
It's
Versterger.
Versterger. Yeah.
Yeah, Versterger. And the sixth.
Oh, we have another one off.
It's
Oh,
Semenga.
it's carnage
Semenga's
out
off
there.
on the inside. Pell is also on the grass,
Pell is off
trying to
too.
rejoin safely. Must have been a collision between these two. They qualified very close as Houston went off track,
Whoa.
joining
Yeah.
a bit unsafely.
What absolute... It's hard to keep sight of what's going on here. Well, Ligier and Williams have absolutely steamed away
Yeah, I got
from the carnage behind.
a bad follow-up to the start. Bruce got past him. Draga has had a very good start. He's up to P4, I think. Honor also had a very good start, but the people losing out are Versterger, Hyde, was even farther down the field. Now, P11
That is a crazy start, yeah. It's very unfortunate. 60
and
minutes
Semenga
though, of
also.
racing.
Mario
Draga
Rucci also.
Stayed out of trouble. He's worked his way up to 4th. Warner has also done the same. He's up to 3rd.
Yeah, there's a lot
Semenga went
of
all the way
top
down
guys
to 16th.
that are off.
That is Donnington in a nutshell. Technical and treacherous, as we have said previously.
Yeah, Hyde has a front damage. I think he will need to get it fixed in the pits.
What a wild start.
Williams is off. Williams had a bit of a... And the spin isn't... It's round. Oh, and a big hit with Robert. That's a big crash for the championship leader, who is out nearly last, colliding with a lot of cars.
Huge
lot of damage, I
on
would
the front of
suppose.
that Mustang as well. Yeah,
Robert got caught up in it.
I had a bad feeling about today. I wasn't wrong. Ligier found himself. Warner's found himself in 2nd. Draga in 3rd. Good lord, this is going to shake things up in the standings. Ladver is holding on to P6 and Ide's going to look to get through. Does send it down the inside into the final hairpin. Holds the line. That's great driving by Ide to get through that. Very controlled, very smart.
Maybe a little cutback for Ladva.
He won't have it. Yeah, just go off the track if he tries to send that there. That's how narrow it is on that left-hander. Yeah, Ide will go through.
And the big winners of this mayhem are Warner with P2, Draga with P3, Duggar P4, and all the middle pack stayed out of it, apart from Sander, and Mario, who got caught up in an incident. But apart from that, we got the middle pack being jumped. I mean,
To be fair, Sander did go off, but I think that
yeah,
was actually like a mini blessing in disguise, because there were some much worse incidents just
yeah,
up the
you're right.
road that he could have well have gone into if he wasn't already further back. Silver
Baz,
linings. I know it's not great, but
Baz says it's actually working. Do you still
he's not.
believe
He's
him?
like, he's retired. Yeah, Warner would just be looking to get away from Draga now. I don't think, realistically, he'd be looking to find P1. I think Lichet's just going to run away with this now if he stays out of trouble.
And you're wrong, 2/10 improvement on Warner in the last sector, so Draga is closing in on Warner. Maybe he has a bit of damage, doesn't seem.
Oh,
He cuts the
grass
grass.
there for Warner. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah,
Hey, Francis. Worked its way up to P14 from the back. I think that's just how crazy the start of the race has been, but also how clever Francis is on this start. Stays out of trouble.
yeah.
Hussein is looking to push him. We know Hussein's got pace.
Yeah, he's got damage on the rear.
Let's bring her back up into P10. So I'd now chasing Pell. Both drivers quick here
Pell
today.
hunting Dugo as well. No scrap, only 3/10 between the two of them.
Thank you, Baz. So De Guel's going to have an almighty task now. Pell obviously losing some positions in the carnage. De Guel finding himself into a position that he might not be on a merit. No offence. Pell will be looking to get past, and then he'll have Ide breathing down his neck if the damage on Ide isn't too bad.
Mega closing in on Mark. He's also promoted to P9. And Van Vorst is in the pits, joining us a bit late.
Whoa, almost a moment there for Mark and the Aston, just getting two tyres over the left side of the curb. Too much throttle there, and you are gone. Temenga pushing very hard.
We just
Have to
seen
be
Boss
careful of the brake
overtaking
points.
Ladva as well.
Whoa, big snap of oversteer for Temenga there in the dirty. Such a hard track to drive single file in.
Yeah, you get that outwash pushing you to the outside of the track. It's a very frustrating thing to have.
I had a feeling today would be carnage. Things settling down somewhat. Pal is, I think Ide's had a little... No, Ide is catching Pal.
Yeah, and
Pal's still
Draga
trying to
is
find a way
still
past Diguel.
hunting Warner. They're very close.
Draga really surprising me here, showing
Yeah.
great pace, great race pace. Warner not the easiest man to pass though. So
Yep.
this might be one of those situations I was talking about where if you cannot get past the car, just go for that undercut. This might very well be the case that Draga may need to do that.
I'd rather do an overcut because with the field being so spread out, maybe you can come out in traffic and get held up by some back markers. So I
That
think
is
an
true.
overcut may be more beneficial for the top guys.
Well, we know Warner does a 50-50 split
Yeah.
majority of the times in the Mustang, so that could well be on the cards. Ligier already a 7-second gap to P2, flying away with it. Very impressive. Cork and Francis, the two men at the back.
Yeah, working their way
In a
up
little
through
battle
the
of their
field. Trying to avoid the carnage.
Mario Riches is the next man for them. Temenga has made it past Mark, up towards Boss now. 2 seconds is the gap through the chicane. Tamenga making 4 attempts almost in the chicane there, looking very comfortable. And the Ferrari is a difficult one to chuck through that one. I think Baz will be enjoying watching this for once he's not the one involved in the carnage. The innocent bystander he usually is. I'd a whole second quicker than Diguel in the 69 Ferrari.
Yeah, we got 2 fights going on at the minute at the front with Warner and Draga. Warner's very wide. And Pearl and the girl quite close. 2 duels.
Yeah, and I'd is joining that fight now too. What has happened to Williams? Is he still on track? Yeah, you would have fixed all that damage. P19 for Williams.
Yeah, he's having struggle, I think, with pace.
Just 1 lap down. There's not a reason why he still can't score points today. Fresh car. .50 left of racing.
Yeah, I don't know if the timetables are right or not, but he's in the 41s, 44, very inconsistent. As Ligier, who is the fastest man on track at the moment, is doing 27s. So I think he
So
will
that
wait for that pit window
last
to
lap
open.
2:47. That would have been who? Oh, we talked about Williams. Sorry, I missed,
Yeah.
missed what we were talking about there. Yeah, no, Williams. That would have been his time in the pits. That last lap, 2:47. So this is his first lap on track, and he does a 1:28 there in traffic.
Oh, he pitted.
He fixed the damage. He had huge damage from that incident. The bonnet was flapping open and everything. He had to. So he's a lap down. So right now Williams is just fighting to get back up through the traffic and get back into points. He had to fix that damage. It was very severe. He span, and I'm pretty sure car came in the opposite direction. Draga having a moment there. Didn't quite see what happened, but he's dropped 2 seconds back on Warner.
A little tough on the grass.
Tamenga has caught up with Boschian and is looking to pass up into 8th for Tamenga. So Powell has got past Diguel. Ide will be next to try that as well. I think Pell is also catching Draga, so Pell and Ide could very well get back up to fighting for the podium.
Yeah, and Draga nearly spawned. He had a bit of a moment trying to save the car. He rather lose a few seconds, then ending up in grass. That's what happened. Hyde is coming back towards the girl.
I think Robert was caught up in an incident as well. I think he's a... I'm trying to work out what's happened here. No, that's not quite right. Relative glitching out. So yeah, Ligier absolutely flying. Running away with this one. Francis and Cork chasing down Niels and getting closer. They will both be looking to make that move in a lap or two. Tamenga still trying to find a way past Boschian. Boschian won't let you have anything for free. We know that. Boschian very wide into the hairpin. And through goes Hamilton. Oh no, that's a different race. That is Tamenga. Very smooth. It'll be eyed just up the road, 5 seconds from him.
Yeah, it will be coming back towards Hyde if we have for reference the qualifying pace.
Yeah, so since Powell passed, what, 3 laps ago, it's already pulled a 3-second gap on De Gaulle, and obviously I'd stuck behind, so I will need to make this move as soon as possible.
He has damage all over this car. I had in the front, at the back. It's a pretty messed up car. He chose a different strategy compared to Williams. Tried to stick it to the 40-minute mark. Left in the race for the pit window to open.
Yeah, I think the damage for Williams was just at the point where
Yeah.
I don't think you can stick that. There's nothing you can do. That car is totaled at that point. The Sturger coming back up through the field up to P9 now. Draga is pulling back towards Warner, showing he has got some pace. 2 brought the gap back from 3 down to 2. It looks like Ide has managed to make a move. Yes, Ide has now got past De Gaulle. So onwards towards the top 3 for Pal and Ide now. Oh, a bit of a moment for Ide. Bit squirrely. Keeps it on the black stuff.
Draga is coming back. He's really showing some great pace.
Pal is also catching at Draga.
Yeah, we'll have to overtake Warner maybe to keep a podium position alive. Even Ide is coming back, maybe to Mengels as well. Ide will have to fix some damage, so we'll see where it comes out at the end of the pit phase.
Well, he'll have to make a choice. If he's catching Draga and Warner, will he fix and potentially sacrifice that time if it's 8 seconds, if it's 10 seconds? If he's got the pace at this point, let's see what his lap time is across the line.
Yeah, you're
so
right,
there's a 28 in there from Powell. Ide's actually matching Powell right now, and Powell's catching Draga and Warner. I think Ide should stick this one out to the end and not wrap. Doesn't seem to have much of a performance degradation from that. Cork has made the move on Ladva. Niels goes off there, and Cork says thank you very much, I'll have that one. Cork and Francis joined at the hip this race. Best mates on the track, look. Moving up through the field. Draga now within a second of Levi Warner. Looks like everyone's got something to fight for right now, and that can be very dangerous with that chicane and its track limits. Obviously, only 20 minutes in. I do wish we had a tool where we could see everyone's track limits, see what they're dealing with. 27 flat for Ligier. That's great race pace. Draga already right on the back of Warner. Here we go again.
Going to be very close. Warner will be defending very hard. Ooh, that's a huge dive on the inside.
I cannot believe he's gone for that on that
but
corner.
He's taking it.
That is
Warner won't
wild.
be too happy of that.
No.
They're still side by side. Warner trying to hold on the outside line.
And the tears up through this left-hander.
Maybe switch back. Doesn't get the run though. Draga gets defensive. That gets Warner the better line. Trying to cut back on the inside.
No.
He has to run. He has run side by side.
That's so well done. Not touched there. Great move from Warner.
Yeah, we said it multiple times. He's not going to let this position go easily. It's P2.
Now,
It would have been.
Jaga will be seeing Palanide catching, and he'll be desperate to get away from this.
Yeah, but don't make any silly mistakes like that. Going wide at the airplane, losing crucial tense. Ooh, don't collide. This is very close. Perl is now right up the back of these two, fighting for P2, fighting for the podium positions.
Oh, this is where Jaga went for it last time. Will he do it
Yep.
again? It's such a risky corner to go on. You
I
never
still
see
don't
moves
know
happen
how he
there.
managed it, but he's so deep on the brakes compared to Warner.
There was contact when he did that,
Yeah,
but I don't think Warner was expecting it at
yeah,
all.
but it's
not
a
something
fair
you usually
move.
see.
It wasn't excessively wide, so it is a fair move, and I don't think it's was dangerous per se.
Pit window is opening.
As the pit window opens, we'll see what happens. I think yes, he might come out in traffic, but I think that now the grid is so split due to incidents and everything else. I think you're gonna find traffic anywhere on the track. I think he should pit, personally.
Yeah, it's either that or a huge overcut. You'll have to make a choice. Pit lane is coming.
But the whole time, Pell and Ide are just gonna be. Ide's not closing as quick, but Pell and Ide are just gonna be making time. Let Pell have a go at Warner. Get yourself in the pit. As you see the big red BMW of Ide come around the final hairpin behind them. Temenga boxes early. Straight in. Up into P7.
Mengen did bit, yeah.
As Cork gets the move done on Niels. I think Cork might have had a moment because he's fallen off the back of Francis. Yeah, and all this battling with Warner is letting Ide come into it. Gaining time now.
Needs to keep looking forward because Paris will have a go at Draga, but he needs to keep going forward, trying to catch Levi and make it a three-way battle and not starting defending against Paris. So you really need to be on it, not let yourself get too stressed out by the McLaren being ever so close in your wing mirror. Very different approaches from the three drivers that they have been.
Yeah, 3 different lines, 1 corner.
Draga is back on the back. A little slide from Per, losing a couple of tenths.
We've got Hussein now chasing Bruss down for P8. Hussein very close. Hussein looking to have the pace.
Oh, it is.
Just pulls out a little bit there.
Yeah.
Thinks better off of it.
He has damage, so it's very great pace from Houston. P9, maybe Temanga pitted, but he's in the top 10.
That is Ladva in the pits.
Warner in the pits
Oh, you
as
mo-
well. Draga and Pam making the overcut. A bit early from Warner. Used to do 50-50.
Yeah, I think he should have stayed out there and kept holding them up. But maybe it's a very nerve-wracking position to be in when people are racing that hard. On tracks as Bruce goes a bit wide, Hussein nails it. To be in that position with two cars looking like they want to get past you like that.
And as I
We'll
said,
see.
Tamanga
Maybe
is coming onto traffic, so I don't think it's a good idea to pit
start
at the
fighting.
moment.
Warner comes out of the pits. I'm not sure if something's happened to Tamenga.
He pitted.
Yeah, he did pit, but Ligier is 2 seconds up the road from him. Pit stop from here.
Yeah, but
It's probably only.
it's the same for Levi if you see. It's not
Yeah.
the gap between Tamanga and Levi hasn't extended, so I think it's just Donnington being a very short track. We have 30-second pit stops. It's 1/3 of the lap already done. I think with the 20 plus seconds that you had of initial gap between the leader and Tamanga and the walk all the way into the pit lane, I think makes
Very
1 minute
interesting now to
30.
see the true pace of Pell and Draga. Now that Warner's pitted, we'll find out who's the quickest.
Fastest lap for Draga is 1:27.747. He's done it 2 laps in a row, very impressive. And fastest lap for Pearl is 1:27.5, so faster roll pace for Pearl. But at the minute, the pace is faster. Yeah, for Pearl a bit more consistent, doing mid 28s, as Draga is doing 0.7, 0.8.
Pell has come into the pits, attempted the undercut for Pell on Draga.
We'll see where he comes out compared to Levi to see the efficiency of and drive-through for the number 63 for James Francis.
Yeah, very tough pit stop. I would have been amazed if he got through
Leading in the
this
pit
session
lane.
without a drive-through.
So yeah, we'll see where Pearl comes out compared to Warner, and we'll see how powerful is the undercut or the overcut.
Well, I think Pell had the pace on him, so it would be a hard one to gauge.
Yeah.
The true test will just be Pell and Draga.
I guess so.
Where is Warner on track coming through
Out
final
of the
hairpin?
pits.
I think it's gonna be close. Warner might get past him here. Warner's gonna get past him. Oh, Pell just beating him out. But we'll have the cold tyres.
See, maybe with the pits being on the inside, you could have compromised a lot your line, and with the warm tires of Levi, maybe he could have done a cut back. Would have got him around, but Warner has warm tires for the moment, so he needs to capitalize in this lap or the next. Trying to sneak one on the inside. Bit of a break. They're struggling to get out of the corner. Well, it's a bold move to try run the outside. Thinks better of it.
Yeah, it is. Trying to compromise his line, I believe. Doesn't work. Pell stays cool and calm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a move on the braking. You don't want to do that, Mr. Perla.
Warner do what he needs to do to stay out of danger. That'll be eyed. Also, pit stop complete. Well, about to be completed. He is in. As Niels
Very
also
wide for
comes in for
Perla.
his pit.
Very wide for Perla. Warner is very close. It is very hard to overtake. You see drivers being maybe a bit deeper on the brakes, but with the braking zone not being too long, you can't gain a huge advantage on the braking and speed of, at which people are driving corners is a bit too fast. Side by side, going into the chicane.
We are
One
halfway
is
through.
squeezing
Keep
Pearl.
pushing.
It's very hard to make a move right here in the S's. Trying the outside into Melbourne hairpin.
Such a hard track to get these moves done on.
Yeah, you can see how hard it is with one struggling. You could just park the bus on the apex and get away with it.
Meanwhile, Ligier having the most comfortable race of his life out there in the lead, comes into the pit. So Williams does still have to pit, so it'll be interesting to see if he's managed to close the gap to anyone. But it's going to be a tough one to do. He probably was in the pits for a good minute of damage.
It'll be hard to salvage some points.
I think Ides had a particularly troublesome pit stop because Temenga is now right on the back of him, and Ides has fallen 10 seconds to Pell and Warner, where I think he's lost 5 seconds in the pit.
Yeah, maybe the damage. Yeah, damage, so...
Yeah, did repair it.
Maybe the better exit on the inside. Gets the better run into the straight. And we'll have the advantage into the S's. Up to P10 for Temenga.
Yeah, that was a good move there for Temenga.
And Ligier losing only one position by pitting 3 positions. 2 positions. With Houston being up to P2.
7 minutes left of the pit window. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers left to pit. Versterger just completing his.
Draga in the pits. We'll see where he comes out.
To see.
He
Obviously
was...
now Pell and Warner fighting as well.
Yeah.
That may have created a nice little gap for him.
I think this is one of the longest seconds of your life, being stuck in the pits.
Yeah.
And seeing the countdown being very slow. Out of his big box.
Here come
You know,
Pell
get
and Warner.
undercut
Oh
massively.
my goodness.
A few seconds.
That fresh rubber. doing the job. But this may get even more interesting for these three fighting for that podium spot now. Jarga showing that he does have pace.
We'll see towards the end of the race if that pays out, if the damage he took from pitting that late will serve him to the end of the race with other rivals' tires being worn out a bit more.
Warner gets a very good exit. Is ahead of Pell coming into the chicane. I think a little bit of contact there. I'm not too sure. No, a bit of evasive manoeuvres.
It's the return.
Big track cut there for Powell. That'll lose him drive into the chicane, into the hairpin. So Warner has found some pace. Yeah, it looks like the Mustang seems to come alive in the last half of the circuit, whilst the McLaren shows its pace in the first half, so with a war of attrition. Oh, evasive manoeuvres for Power as Warner has a moment. Drive through for Ladva. All that hard work is undone. Powell back through on Warner.
And that allows Dryla to come back a bit. Still a bit far behind, 2.7 again. But I'm sure he will come back towards the end of the race if these two never stop fighting. And Kokomelakis in P2. Enjoying the top, my friend.
Tomenga is only 7 seconds back from Jargo. If Jargo can catch back up to these guys and they really start going at it, there's no reason Tomenga can't somehow find a way in towards the closing stages of the race. Be interesting to see how it plays out.
It's same thing for Hyde. It's only 2 seconds behind Tomenga, so it isn't that big of a difference, but we'll see what he can do.
Powell's managed to break out of the 1 second range from Warner. Wonder how much Warner has killed those tyres. Obviously, controller 2 is a bit harsher on the old on the rubber.
Sander making a great comeback into P9 after taking evasive action at turn 1. The 510 of Robert is out of track. Coming back safely.
Sander Versterger looking to chase down De Gaulle now.
Traffic management is very important, but losing some time to Warner as they get past Kokomelakis. He's in the pits now. Warner holding on to Bell at the moment. With Williams now between Braga and Warner, a lap behind, but between these two, we'll see what his pace is compared to the top guys. He's P17 right now. fastest lap 1:27.0 for Williams, but it's not the fastest lap. Fastest lap is 27.0, so half a tenth between the two fastest lap times of this race, as close as it was in qualifying. It's a shame that Williams got caught up in shenanigans. It would have been a great fight, I think, for the lead. Now Ligier,
That was a particularly nasty one.
yeah, needs to ring a
What's
helmet.
surprising me, obviously, Draga showing supreme pace in the first stint, all over the back of Warner. But the gap between them is holding at a steady 3 seconds. Warner definitely finding pace the second stint. Doing well to hold on to Pal as well, who both Draga and Pal looking supremely quick in the first stint.
In terms of pace, the back is pretty mixed because Tamanga is not really supposed where he's not where he's supposed to be, really. Was on the grass for a long time, so lost a lot of time, and maybe were close to Draga towards the end. I'd
Well, the
also
gap last
not.
time I checked was about 5 seconds. I'll check it again on the line. I think he is gradually closing. The relative at Donnington is notoriously dodgy, goes up and down like crazy.
Yeah, he's losing time, never mind, but maybe with people being not bombed out by losing a lot of time and losing their race.
.27 flat for Williams.
There he goes, fastest lap.
Warner have to be smart here. Williams will look to get past and unlap himself. Maybe he can use Williams coming up through the field to his advantage. As Warner does let him go in the hairpin.
You will use him, I think, to have a sniff at Perle. I think it's very clever. Like the, the big dog pass. Try to sneak his way through.
Yeah, and all the while, Draga is reeling in.
Yeah, he's coming back progressively.
There's still a lot to play for.
Yeah, 17 minutes left. About 11 laps, 12 laps. Draga is off, losing quite a bit of time.
Oh no, where has that happened?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's about a 2 second loss.
on the outside of
2.5
the
second
whole
loss.
hairpin.
Drive through for Jay Francis, unfortunately. Track limits.
And after a drive through for spinning into pit lane. It's a drive through
Such
for
a tough
track
track.
limits.
I tell you
Yep.
what, endurance racing here must not be easy.
Yeah, it's very much on the rhythm, on the you need to be on it. Don't have really moments to breathe. So you really need to practice to get that autopilot mode up and ready for the race. And still, you need to be very much aware of where you put the car, of the tire wear, involving making some corners very tricky, like the old hairpin or copies, if I pronounce that right. There are corners that are very critical with tire wear. That little mistake
Pal has
from
picked
Draga,
up
yeah.
the pace a little bit. Williams isn't as close on him as easily, and Warner's dropped off a little bit. So Powell feeling a bit more comfortable now. There's a car between him and Warner.
Yeah. That little mistake from Draga allowed Temanga to close back. 1.4 seconds now. As Vestager close back the gap to the girl for P7. You can see him improving race after race, Sander Vestager. He says he's enjoying more and more the McLaren. He's a bit not, yeah, a bit too far to get a move on the go. Maybe next lap.
I think he actually lost the position to him. I think he took it and then lost it again because as they came over the line, it was showing me Verstappen P7. So I
He's
think
been
they've switched
behind for
positions.
over a sector, so maybe a
Yeah, I'm not sure.
bug. No, he was catching him. It was a couple of seconds behind a few laps ago.
As Jagger is rapidly catching Warner now.
Maybe a little mistake.
Will he have enough time to
Grid.
hold on? But Temenga is coming into the picture now with Draga. 1.5 seconds to gap. So that might give Warner a bit of breathing room if that scrap goes on for a little bit. See how Verstager's doing as he hunts down Diguel. So Robert is into the pit again. Might be a retirement, I'm not sure. Verstager just losing a little bit of time there. As the back markers let him go. He will come back though to fight again. Jaga not making much leeway on Warner. Temenga still closing that gap.
Mark and Bruce fighting for P12. Bruce on the grass out of the left corner. It's, I think the position for Mark is on the outside, has a better line, and gets the move done. Up to
Very
P12
nice move there.
for Mark in the Aston.
Yeah, Powell picking up the pace, currently on his fastest lap since the pit. Meanwhile, Williams is looking to close down on Richards. Full P14, 4 seconds up the road.
And check with the race leader, having a bit of an onboard moment maybe, trying to enjoy the V10 of the Lamborghini.
Wild. Leisure is almost, I think he's about half a lap ahead of the entire field. That's not bad work in 60 minutes. Well, 50 minutes.
Yeah, he's pretty much a half a lap ahead.
Did you see the incident with Williams? What happened on that opening lap? Was it self-inflicted spin that went wrong?
I seen going. He went wide on the outside of McLean's. Went on in the grass, and someone tapped him into coppice, uh, and got round. Got hit by the guy who spun him out, and then Robert collected him, making most
It's
part of the
unfortunate.
damage, especially on the front. Um, Really unfortunate. Being caught up in the traffic, making slight mistakes, and in lap one, this costs you a lot of time and a lot of damage, making you lose even more time.
Check back in with Versterger. Versterger's still looking to make that move on De Guel. Gets a very nice exit out of the last hairpin, but he won't be far enough ahead of the Ferrari. Ferrari will have the inside line, but this does allow for a nice switchback on this part of the track. But De Guel does find the inside apex very nicely.
Latva in the pits again, don't know what happened. So Mario is off track for the second time out of McLean's. Very tricky corner, trying to get to exploit every bit of the track and finding himself up in the grass, touching with the rear left wheel.
Drive through for Draga. I
Draga.
did just watch it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he went very deep into the right-hander on the chicane. You can cut that a little bit, a lot more than the left-hander, but it was 2 wheels onto the green Astro.
That's huge. I think he will lose.
Should have lifted.
He will lose
But,
a
that
lot of positions.
There's some corners where you get that drive-through warning instantly, right? You cannot.
I think he
You
will
don't
drop
even
down
have
to
time to
P8
slow.
after this
Yeah,
drive-through.
that's a tough pill
Maybe.
to swallow for Draga. Has had good pace today. That will give. That's how Warner will be breathing sigh of relief, because Draga was starting to pick the pace up and close again. So that should seal the top 3.
He's now into P6.
What I can say is, with that, however fortunate that is for Draga, there'll be a little sigh of relief there for Temenga and Ide, obviously being caught up in lap 1 incidents. They've worked their way back up to the top of the field. So not as damaging as maybe they thought. Still 6 minutes left as Bruce has a moment there. Spins on track. Williams up into 13th now. With Mark only 3.5 seconds up the road, so still a position to find for Williams. This is a fantastic recovery considering what he had to deal with. Warner not quite out of the woods though. That's a 1 minute 30 for Warner, so an issue there on that lap. Semengo 128.4. The Mustang tyres starting to really drop off now. I think for everyone the tyres are really starting to drop off. Big damage there on the front of E. Neal's BMW. I can see what it ate for dinner. That's not a good sight. Jargon down to P6 because of that drive-through.
Yeah, we'd love to see you back next time, Mouse Gaming, and also Dodik Europe Man, or if I pronounce that right. Been a great race to see you in.
Yeah.
Hope to see you next week. Okay.
It's been a wild one, so if you missed the first opening, well, the opening laps of this race, once this broadcast finishes, I do recommend going back and rewatching it. It was a wild start. Donnington, notoriously treacherous and dangerous, and it proved that today.
Yeah, Williams paid the price of it. Huge price. Semengo also got a bit caught up in it. Santa, Mario also got big damage.
Yeah,
He's now
Semengo
pretty
eyed
much
getting caught
last.
up, but working their way up. Semengo back up to P4, eyed up into P5, where I think he'll settle. But Semengo, let's see if he's closing in on Warner. Still, 3 minutes to go. Warner's managed to hold the gap since that that little mishap he had on the lap previously. I think Powell was another one that had a mishap, didn't he, in the first lap, and he's managed to scrape back to P2, so very well done to Powell. He's maximised what he could have gotten to date.
Yeah, Kokomelakis also
Ligier's
did
pace.
a great race, P11, avoiding all incidents, no damage, no drive-throughs.
That's
He
another
can make it to the
masterclass.
end. Starting last. That's a great result for the Greek.
Semengo
Ligier.
5 tenths off of Warner there, that lap. Took 5 tenths out of him, and there's probably 3 laps left, depending where the leader is on track. So
It's towards the end. I think it's 2 laps remaining. But
maybe 3 laps
three,
for
yeah,
Warner.
three
Yeah.
for Warner, yeah. Yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. He can miss 3 races, I think, before getting disqualified, so that's unfortunate.
Mouse, if it's something you would like to take part on in the last few races, I could speak to the admin team and we can see what we can do if there is not an abundance of reserve drivers on the list. We may need to scrub your points, but you are welcome to race and restart. If we can sort that out on SimGrid, I'll let you know. And if you would like to take part in race 6 onwards, just let me know.
I gotta say also,
was-
Pen is doing a great race. P2, overtaking Levi, not an easy task to do,
Yeah,
and being very consistent.
I had to withstand
continues-
massive pressure.
Yeah, it continues on the strength that he had in Nürburgring. Did quite a good race. So strong improvement. But that lovely McLaren, I gotta say, I really like this livery. Blue and orange.
Tamenga is getting rather close now. Almost 1 second gap. Drive through, that's Richards. That's unfortunate for Richards.
Going from bad to worse.
Alright, man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final
The
push.
final lap now as Ligier comes around for a brisk last lap to claim his first P1 of the season.
Mark doing all his work to defend against Williams for P12. He's been defending it for a couple of laps.
Yeah, Williams went
Huge
for
send.
shy. There it
Huge
is.
send from
Yeah.
Williams up the inside. Maybe a switchback from Mark.
That's Brush with a drive-through. That's a different car. Yeah, G Brush with a drive-through.
Williams makes the mistake up to P12.
Yeah, that Mustang power will see him away now. Check back in with Warner and Tamenga. 1.2 the gap as they're on their final lap. Warner's coming up to back markers now, very rapidly.
Yeah. Ligier is going around the final corner.
Switch.
Big weaves for Ligier as he crosses the line. Take his first win of the season. Well done to him. Flawless race. Kept out of trouble. Very strong pace. It was neck and neck with Williams. Big differences.
Congratulations.
He didn't get into any crash.
DJ.
Very big performance of him.
All played to his hands.
Yeah,
I don't know what Mark's doing there. Oh, no, has let him go. That's my mistake. It was the angle making that look worse than it was. So Warner looks to hold on.
Yeah, it's going to be a little too short for Tamenga to come back. But very close towards the end. 60 minutes and even seconds separating these two Fatch teammates. No, not anymore
did
for Tamenga, sorry.
Versterger get past Diguel. He didn't. They're still going. Diguel defended very well. Versterger not finding a way through. It's not going to happen here. It's some of these corners where switchback doesn't work because the line is the apex.
Yeah, it's
not gonna
very
happen.
awkward, yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to Diguel on maintaining that P7. So incredibly eventful race. Lap 1 to Carnage. Congratulations to P Ledger on that first podium, that first P1 of the season. Incredibly comfortable drive. Yeah, ran away with it. Powell was a fantastic recovery to come back into P2, show great pace. Warner defending very well, staying in the fight and getting that P3 secured. To Mengo with another great fight back, which he did at Nürburgring last week. Also takes P4. Ide was unfortunate to get caught up, but again as well, great fight back to P5. I think Draga feel hard done by today. Had great pace, and I don't think P6 quite reflects that. And yeah, and De Guerre, as we spoke about earlier, doing very well. For Versterger as well, getting comfortable in that McLaren as the season goes on. Boss comfortable in P9. Hussein dropped a few positions, but down to 10th. I think we're happy with a top 10. But Cork, to be honest, not much airtime today, but that's one of my drives of the day, Cork. From last place up to P11. And Williams, good fight back too, to P12 to claim at least some points. Yeah, very eventful race.
We have
where are
another
we?
new race winner for this
Yeah,
season.
that's another one.
The third one.
Where are we next week? Let's have a little ganders. It's a 90-minute next week
Suzuka.
at Suzuka, so that should be a good one to look out for. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. So thank you everyone for joining us in this eventful race. Thank you, Wilson, for joining me in the commentary booth.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, and we'll see you all next week for another exciting round. Thank you, everyone, and good night.